children, today we shall learn another poem titled A Tiger in the Zoo, written by Leslie Norris. This poem, Tiger in the Zoo, is written by Leslie Norris, and in this poem, the poet tries to depict the mental condition of a caged tiger. He compares the life of a tiger in the zoo with its life in its natural habitat. The poet conveys an important message that the wild animals should be left in their natural habitat. In the poem, he heightens the contrast between freedom and captivity. He very impressively shows us how love for freedom is the natural instinct of every living being. Let's read the first stanza. He stalks in his vivid stripes, the few steps of his cage, on pads of velvet coat, in his quiet rage. Word meanings. Stalks means to move quietly and slowly in a threatening way. Vivid means bright and clear. Stripes are the long, narrow bends. Pads, the soft part under the foot of the tiger. Rage means anger. Here is explanation. The poet sees a tiger locked in a concrete cell in the zoo. It's a very small cage. The tiger can hardly take a few steps along the length of the cage. He looks majestic as he slowly moves up and down his cage. The sharp and clear stripes of his body are of strong, bright color. His pads are velvet soft. In spite of all his strength, he now lies imprisoned behind the bars. The caged tiger is angry. He is full of rage, but is quiet because he knows that he is helpless here. Let's move to stanza 2. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass, near the waterhole where plump deer pass. Meaning of lurking is hiding. Sliding means moving. Hole is pool where water is found. Plump is healthy, fat. So, looking at the imprisoned tiger, the poet is filled with pity. He says that the poor tiger should have been in his natural habitat, that is in the jungle, hunting and resting. Then, at this hour of the night, he would have been lying in the shadows of trees and sliding quietly through the long grass. He would then, near the waterhole, wait for some fat and healthy deer to pass that way. Thus, he would be lying there in expectation of a heavy feast. Stanza 3. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs and his claws, terrorizing the village. The meaning of snarling is to make an angry and warning sound. Baring means showing. Fangs are two long, sharp teeth at the front of the mouth of some animals. Terrorizing means frightening. Explanation. In these lines, the poet imagines what the tiger would be doing in case he failed to find any prey in his natural habitat. He says that the tiger would be angrily moving around the houses in a nearby village. He would be growling at the edge of the jungle near some village. He would be showing his white fangs and terrible claws while moving here and there. He would thus become a cause of terror for the villagers. The poet here gives a hint that if we continue to destroy the forest cover and the natural habitat of tigers, they will be forced to turn to our towns and villages to find their food. Stanza 4. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars. stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. Here the meaning of concrete cell is a very small and unpleasant cage. Stalking means moving slowly and quietly in a threatening way. Here the poet sees the tiger is locked in a concrete cell in the zoo. In spite of all his strength, he now lies imprisoned behind the bars. Very slowly and silently, the tiger moves up and down along the length of the cage. He moves in an angry and threatening manner. He takes no notice of visitors who come to the zoo to have a look at him. He completely ignores them, as none of them thinks of releasing him from his prison. Moreover, due to their presence, he hardly gets any rest during the day. Let's move to the last stanza. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. So the meaning of patrolling is to go around an area at regular times to check if it was safe. Brilliant means very bright. Now, due to the visitors, the tiger gets no rest during the day. Even at night, he remains disturbed due to the noise that comes from the patrolling cars. The tiger has thus lost all hope and feels very helpless. He thus stares at the brilliant stars shining brightly in the sky. It seems that he is looking for some sort of comfort and hope in these stars. His brilliant eyes show that he still hopes for the day when he would be able to run free in the forest and live in natural surroundings.